Aloha, friends and neighbors. Welcome to show 966. Rollin Frost here, trying to live healthily and quietly and safely in Kona. Served you for 966 weeks. Imagine that. I got some interesting news for you, some other things to share. We're going to go after the sky mirror right away. And the major event going on in the sky is that Neptune is stopping. Yeah, when Neptune stops, the things that Neptune has to do with, from the ocean to the liquids to the color to the art to the music to the religion to the drugs to the bad smells. Yeah, it's all Pisces stuff. Two sides to it, huh? Two little fish. One of them doesn't smell too good. The other one is like a Jesus. It is Jesus. He comes in on this Neptune frequency. So Neptune is stopping. Oh boy. Yeah, it stops 11 a.m. on the 11th. So either your confusion will peak out then, or your flashes of religious joy and enlightenment of the heart. Neptune is an enlightenment planet, just like Uranus is here. Uranus enlightens the mind, and Neptune enlightens the heart. Well, I've spent the last 5 or 6 years going after Uranus and the impact on the natural world. Yes, earthquakes, tornadoes. I haven't spent a lot of time with Neptune. Neptune kind of disasters have to do with tsunamis, smoke, mirrors, pollution, oil spills. Whereas Uranus comes up on you, natural disaster, flash, bang, earthquake, tornado, bang, it's done. This is a more slow, sneaky. Neptune dissolves things away. But I've come to learn that I consider Neptune really a malefic. He's one of the more, his bad side is really bad. And what's coming up here, I got note, is possible large event. And it's all about Neptune stopping. Now, the same day that Neptune stops on the 11th, 11/11, at 10:30 p.m. on the 11th, Mercury goes forward. Mercury stops, goes stationary direct. Yeah, here's Mercury. So Mercury going direct's usually pretty good news, huh? Yeah. He won't have to make 2 phone calls and go places twice and return things. And I'm digging out all my old paperwork. I got a couple things to find on the Raven, and I'm digging stuff out that has cobwebs and dust all over it. I know it's there. So going over the old stuff and digging it out and finishing things, that's what it's about until June 11th. Yeah, at night, 10:34, goes direct. After that, you're on a more permanent ground. However, as Mercury goes forward, it's at 5 Gemini. It's squaring Neptune at 10 Pisces, really, 9 degrees, 49 minutes. And it's a 5-degree square, but that's a big enough orb, enough slop, we call it, the orb, how much on either side of the exact 90 degrees you go. That's only 5 degrees, and Mercury can take that easily. So Mercury's in trouble. The kids are going to start to try to run, and what happens? Neptune stops them. What is that? Is that oil on the driveway? They all slip and fall down, or ice, or water, or flooding, or maybe they all drank too much and they go walk around, fall into things. Whatever it is, it could be kind of nasty, because over here is Saturn. Saturn is at 0 Sag going backwards. That's only 5 degrees off, opposing Mercury at 5 Gemini. So Mercury's on thin ice. Ice is Saturn, and if he falls through because he's not being very smart, or there's something deceptive going on, boy, this could be disastrous for Mercury. Now, I'm going to get back to this in a little bit. But, as he stops and slows down around the 11th here, coming up to it for a week and going down especially for a week afterwards at least, his stopping, he's confused. He's lost. He got drowned. You got poisoned. Yeah. And that's the small stuff. That's the toddlers and the birds and the small Mercuries. And if, you know, who Mercury is on the larger scene we'll get to shortly. So we got Neptune acting up. Poseidon, huh? And he tends to make things difficult with smoke and liquids and deception and slow-moving things. And what do you mean Roundup isn't good for us? It's been going on for 40 years. Well, I show you what I got. Anyway. Okay, so you see, we've got the stage set here for a nasty problem for Mercury and probably for Neptune. These will be priest, artists, doctor, musicians. They're drunks, they're deceivers, they're liars. There's also religion and good Neptune. There's a good side to this guy. I'm going to tell you about that shortly. Very good side. You got to always watch for it. What is it, Frost? Well, the Roundup thing. In Australia, they use seawater instead of pesticides, herbicide. They spray seawater on the weeds. It kills them. Yes, try it. Okay, there's a good side of Neptune. Neptune is the ocean. You don't got to use Roundup. Use ocean water. No harm, no foul. Well, okay, now let's get on and see what it's like for you. We're going to run the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern, and as it moves around here, you know, it takes about 2.5 days to go through one zodiac sign. It makes angles to these other planets, these other people on stage here, and kind of generates the mood of the time. It's like what your internal thought and pictures flowing through your mind are about, okay? That's what the moon is, those inner pictures. So, if you're there on Thursday night, the moon went by Pluto, still there. And you're either getting powerful and investigating, or you're getting panicky and feeling isolated. And late in the evening, 1 o'clock in the morning or so, Friday, 2 a.m. in the morning, here's the square to Uranus. So this is the old Uranus-Pluto square. Eek! What's Pele doing? What's the volcano doing? Now, this is not good. You know, Hilo could have a smoke problem. Yeah. Could be ashes or things. That's another possibility for... I'm going to get to that more later, don't worry. But here, this is your emergency. Yeah, we call it Frantic Fridays. Has now drifted back into Thursday. See, it goes back 1 day every month. So don't trust anything there Thursday night. The power could be out. The battery could be dead. You could find yourself a little isolated. Don't worry, it's normal. The moon's still in Capricorn Friday morning, and you're still feeling pretty isolated and a little shaky. It's okay. As you get to Friday night, here's the nasty old opposition to Venus, and the girls are involved, and the young girls, and they could be having problems here. But Saturn helps them out. Old guys, authority. That's, you know, will help Venus. Yeah, Friday night. So, girls, if you're in trouble, go to somebody with a little white in their hair. That's Saturn, and they'll help you out. Mercury's here Saturday morning. The kids will get up early, 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning and make noise, but it's happy noise. So it mellowed out late Friday and early Saturday morning. Moon's in Aquarius starting at dinner time Friday the 5th. The vibes change when the moon changes signs, huh? And here it gets really interesting on Saturday night, because here's a trine to the sun. We feel ambitious. We should make some plans. Mars is there. You know, we got go fix something, yeah? Now there's an opposition to Jupiter about midnight. It seems like we may have taken on a little much and have to pare back on things. That's possible. You'll know about it. You'll wake up Sunday morning, there's a sextile to Uranus. The moon's in Aquarius, sextiling Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. The mind works, the enlightenment of the mind. Snap, there's a thing on early morning TV. No, I just had this weird idea. What? Rainwater won't work on weeds. Obviously, there's no salt in it. You got to use seawater. It goes away quick. Doesn't hurt anybody. Try it. Just try put a little seawater in your sprayer and spray a small section of weeds and see what happens. You'll have to use a little more than Roundup liquid, but so what if you use 2-3 times more Didn't cost you a cent. It was seawater. Ha 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 ha. Okay, well, as you go through Sunday, you want to think about what you learned early Sunday morning. It was good common sense and high tech and Aquarian values. Moon goes into Pisces at dinner time Sunday, and right away starts to get confusing. Here's Neptune, and he's not having a very good time. Most of this is going to come off Monday. Monday morning, right away, there's a square to Mercury. Kids feel lost. Communication is crummy. And the moon going by Neptune here is Monday night, Monday afternoon and evening. This is a time of confusion. And you could lose things. You could lose your keys, kids will get lost. This could be a time of flooding. Yes, this could even be a tsunami time. I'm not saying it's tsunami now, but that there's a small possibility, seeing as it's focused over in Hilo. Could be a hell of a lot of rain for anybody here. This also focuses in like halfway between New York and Boston, this Neptune thing. So the action is, New York to Boston kind of area, and yes, on the east coast of the Big Island. And let's see what Neptune brings us. Maybe it's just a lot of confusion. Whatever it is, there's a little powerful investigation going on here really late Monday night. So Tuesday morning you might wake up with better information. But on Tuesday, here's a square to the Sun and Mars. It doesn't seem like it can be fixed. Everybody's kind of pissed off, and they got delayed, and the creek washed over and washed down all the electric lines, and they can't communicate, and the internet went down to blah blah. This is slowly creeping up on you that Neptune might be taking things away. At the very least, he's in square to Mercury, and he's going to mess up your ability to communicate and transportate things. So, yeah, if it didn't come up on June 2nd, just a couple days back for you, that's when the full moon happened, set all this stuff off. Well, here's your next best time, is June 8th, and the confusion is really hitting. And I wouldn't trust anybody here. Continues anyway, and with some anger and impatience through Tuesday, June 9th. And finally gets a little better when the moon goes into Aries. Wake up Wednesday morning, the moon's in Aries. A little more energy there. By the time you get to, actually you feel like everybody, I need some help. Can somebody help us here? That's Wednesday afternoon and evening. And Mercury and Venus, the kids and the girls, will help. Oh yeah. There might be some goodies here. The old full moon was here though, and it's a little wobbly Wednesday, even though there might be some getting, relaxation and good vibes here. Thursday, moon's going to go by Uranus. It hits that square. Gee, I didn't draw the square in. Look at that. Huh. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I didn't put the Earth in the center either. Thinking about how to communicate this Neptune anxiety I have to you in a realistic way. Well, there's two things involved, there's location and there's timing. And we got two locations picked out, east coast of the Big Island and the corridor there between New York and Boston. And the timing of it now is going to settle into Mondays. Can't get away from that. Here's Thursday. Is that where we left off? Yeah. Wednesday, things mellowed out. Moon was in Aries, right? And here's the glitch time. Here's the square to Pluto. And it happens kind of in the middle of Thursday. And the moon's going by Uranus. So right now you're not liking the utility companies, electricity, the internet. Even astrologers are taking a beating here. So, but there is the trine to Jupiter. Now Jupiter comes in here first. And Jupiter says, actually the worst thing is a square to Pluto. You wake up Thursday morning, here it is at 4 a.m. and there's a cat fight out in the yard and there's a little panicky feeling. So it starts with a square to Pluto, then comes at 15 degrees. Then at 17, kicks Jupiter in. Everybody starts laughing. There's wisdom around. Hooray! And that happens, just after breakfast. And it's a zappy day, and there's wonderful things that could happen here. As once the trine of Jupiter happens, wisdom comes in, and the moon comes up and hits Uranus at 20 degrees. That's right there. It's in the afternoon, zap, 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 zap. I've had so much enlightenment in different things there. It's almost hard to share it all. I mean, this has been a wonderful roll. And here's Mars and the Sun. Here's father figures kicking in. Here's Rand Paul standing up for our freedoms. I think of him like a libertarian, not a Republican. Anyway, so this promises to be quite a day Thursday, and a lot could be done here to promote the independent, free thinking and common sense approaches to things. The old crap is breaking down everywhere. People are not believing in the things they were taught to believe. They're using common sense, and brotherhood is flowing. And this is another day of it. I'm so proud of those Hawaiians up there on Mauna Kea. I'm just so proud of them stopping TMT like that. Wow, Uranus, huh? Brothers getting together. I remember when all you folks on Kauai stopped the stupid ferry. Yes, I felt so proud of you all. Uranus is there, getting the job done. So, heli on, guys. It's the new age of Aquarius, and you're right on the first of the wave. Now, Friday, the moon shifts into Taurus. Everything slows down a little bit. Get downright lazy after lunch with the square to Venus. No sweets, though. Eat sugar just makes you more lazy. Here's a sextile to Neptune. What do you mean water is a problem? What do you mean religion, art, music, chemicals, drugs are a problem? We accept it. I've been spraying Roundup all my life. Friday night, you might get a little faith back, but look out, short-lived. Saturday morning, here's Pluto rearing his head and saying, oh, that's a good Pluto. The police say, yes, I'll protect our right to spray the Roundup. And we have our permits, they said, the TMT people. The government gave us the go-ahead. The Queen gave 007 a right to kill. Jeez, we have our permits. Well, Jupiter here is in square Saturday around the middle of the day, and he's not very happy with that attitude, and their lawyers may stop some of this. Yeah. It's a weekend, though, huh? Everybody's laughing too much, taking too many, eating too much. It's Saturday in the middle of the day. The moon squares Jupiter. Everybody's too loud. Everybody's eating mass quantities. Take it easy. Let them play. Moon's still in Taurus when you wake up Sunday morning. A little gluttony still goes on. But, there's a square to opposition to Saturn here starts. And here's problems with, where's the kids? What did I say? Where did I park the car? Did it get towed? It could start kind of early, even before lunch. Anxiety from Saturn. And then Mercury. When Mercury hits, that's just after lunch Sunday. I'm trying to talk and walk and move, but I can't. Why? Because Neptune's up there. The bridge washed out. You find out about it Sunday night. Here's the Neptune square. Sunday night again. You're going to go through it again. Here's another opportunity for the floods. Another opportunity for big surf, waves, tsunamis, etc. So there's two of them here, and they're happening on Mondays. There'll be a few others. Oh, alarms, alarms, alarms. I just got to share this with you before I go on to something else. Do you remember my rants about Monsanto and the whole idea of Roundup? Well, I shared this with you about the World Health Organization, and then a couple days later, after I put that on my show and sent it in, Amazing thing. This came up in the newspaper. Not only that, but turns out there are 50 people. I didn't even know this was happening. Well, I couldn't have got there very easy anyway, but 50 people spent 5 hours telling the county council why they shouldn't fund any money for Roundup. They say just $1 out of every 14,000. But it struck they want it taken out of the budget. Just taken out of the budget, period. Anyway, it's not easy to go down and sit there for 5 hours so you can testify in front of the council. But 50 people did it. It reminds me of, when a lot of us went to battle over the incinerator in Hilo. So another 50 people to be proud of. Hooray! Haley on, guys. Oh, by the way, not Roundup, seawater. I emailed Margaret Willey and also the head of the department that sprays and told them, try seawater, just try a small area, Now there's more on this Roundup thing. Wait till you see this. Well, I went back to a pet project. This is a Hawaiian pet. Smartest bird in the world. Was a house pet for Hawaiians. And hope to do something about this too. So this is a great little book, but he kind of gives up at the end over the politics. The state and the feds, and they're all battling over it. But so much of this has to do with the intimates that really knew the raven. And here is one of the more dramatic deals where Alfat and the man and his wife, Barbara Lee, were taking care of these animals, and they were raising them and stuff. Okay, listen. One morning, as he sprayed the weeds in the aviaries with the herbicide Roundup, Alfat noticed that Umi and Hina, the two major birds, were uncharacteristically quiet. He brushed it off as a stress of their molting. The next day he returned to the pen, discovered the unthinkable. He immediately telephoned Barbara and said in a shaky, soft voice, he says, Barbara, Hina died last night. Oh my God, how did it happen? I don't know. And they go on, and he was at Po'akaloa spraying for weeds with Roundup. Well, this was August 1978, folks. And they killed one of the most endangered, smartest birds in the world. 2 of them died by being sprayed with Roundup. So this completed my karma over Roundup, and I hope, I hope I've helped. It's certainly come to me kind of personal, huh? And I kind of think of most weeds like wildflowers. Some of the people in my neighborhood are developers. They think of only just a shortcut lawn and no weeds and everything simple and square and level. I don't. I like the natural stuff. But I will try some seawater on some of the wildflowers that I don't need. Here's a quickie. I respect the S training people, Scientologists and stuff, and in the training everybody asks, what about men and women? Are they equal or the same or what? They said, men have imagination, women have power. It's true. But, what's power without imagination? Okay, back to a Neptune large event. The bad full moon is here on the 2nd. I'm back here on the 25th, and we're getting a little information here, but the Monday night washout hasn't really happened here too strong. So that Tuesday full moon for you was just a couple days ago, and you could start hitting stuff. And, I've got circled here and here times when the moon sets it off. Here's Mercury. Mercury stops. Yeah, and when Mercury retrogrades, if your road gets washed out and your power line is down, and you can't get around, it inhibits your ability to move around and communicate and transportate. Likelihood is it's going to stay that way until Mercury goes direct and goes up past that point again, which isn't till here. So, yeah, more better you have your big storm and all that stuff here in the fourth week of June. Maybe you won't wait so long, but it looks to me like some stuff's going to happen earlier, and hence the large event label. Location. See that line running? Yeah, between Boston and New York? That's the Neptune opposing the rising sign. Eek, water. And that line running up just to the east of the Big Island is Neptune on the midheaven. Public mess. Gonna need cleanup. Okay, 20 days on either side of the station from about here down to there. And here's the hot spots. And when I went to look downstream, another technique I have to look at the three-quarter moon on June 9th. Not good for Hilo, not good for the New York, Boston area. Public scene still all confused. Trash all around, something like that. I checked the new moon, June 16th. Not so good. Saturn on the descendant, other old people hurting. Authorities accuse, we need help, we feel restricted. And then I checked the quarter moon on June 24th, and finally I see they're fixing the roads. We feel more free. Things get better after June 24th. So that's how long the damage could last. Okay, yeah. If you're an environmentalist, Mark Jerome Walters had his biology and his reporting, and he wrote this book. And man, this book is an eye-opener of what happens here when the government is involved with some of these programs. We've got to get the government out of some of these things, folks. They tend to muck it all up, whether it's your drugs or your war or your... Anyway, don't get me started, huh? This is my pet project, and this is for Hawaiians. This was your pet. Cook said 200,000 people lived along the Kona coast. He counted the huts, from his shipboard. And then he said the most common house pet was a large black bird. SkyMirrorAstrology.com/TV. Check the website.